Right for life. Tonight is decluttering your relationships to be more flexible. We've got a great one tonight, and I just want to let you know that I'm here, I'm willing, and I'm able to, help with relationships because I've had my share of clutter in relationships, and there's a lot I've learned about relationships, and it really makes a difference on whether or not you have a relationship itself. And one of the key factors in is to have faith. I'm going to show you about 7 key factors, and then I'm bringing on Ann, and I think she's in her favorite spot, but we're going to show you anyway because she's my special doggie, and she gives unconditional love, and that's probably the best kind of love there is unconditional love. There are no conditions to it. Well, I'm going to get right into it tonight. And tonight we're going to talk about faith in yourself and others. That's a key ingredient in a relationship, is that when two people, groups, or anybody out there has relationships, it just means that, we are, have faith that, that you can trust each other, you can understand each other. And faith is a big part of having a great relationship. And then a purpose of a relationship with yourself and others. Knowing where you're going, it's kind of like a car, that has a wheel on it, and you know where I'm going. And in my car, Jesus Christ is my driver, and I'm the co-pilot. But having a direct purpose of your relationship and knowing where your relationship stands as far as purpose is extremely important because it breeds so much, love, kindness, and compassion. When you have purpose in a relationship, it really, makes for that. And then you have to have a clear vision for your relationship. And when you have a clear relationship for your relationship, you both understand each other a lot better. And understanding is so key because when you have just a key understanding of each other and where each other's at, sometimes, we're not always in such a good space, or sometimes we are just in a space, if I can say anything about that one. And one of the greatest things about relationships is that they breed, love, kindness, and compassion, and give you passion in life. And we determine our own relationships. We determine how good they are, we determine how bad they are. It really is important. And also my relationship with Jesus Christ, I make the determination on how I see him, because he just sees me as a person, that has had lots of challenges and lots of difficulties. But the thing is, he's let that all go. And, what does that do with relationships? Well, one of the key factors is setting clear boundaries. That's one of the key factors I learned from this past relationship, was the issue of I didn't have clear boundaries with him, with me, or with anybody else out there. And as a result, I learned clear boundaries. It was a great life lesson that I gave, and it really made a difference. And all these key factors allow you to be flexible, because when you understand these key factors that I'm talking about, they make for wonderful relationships. They make you feel like, that everything is moving forward and that you don't have to move backwards, and that you can, really understand, other folks and yourself too. Because what I'm all talking about also applies to yourself. And one thing I have learned, that I've had to have these all apply to me. And the next one is respect for yourself and others. That's a key factor between a man and a woman, a group, a church, or a nation, or anything, is that respect of relationships. Nations or anything. If we don't have that respect out there, it truly makes things quite difficult for a great relationship to happen. And if I can say anything, that respect gets you a long way, along with dignity. Dignity for yourself and others. Realizing that your life is worth something, believe me, I understand that point from today, and I didn't have a mindset that I particularly was fond of. But the one thing I did find was that I had to have respect and dignity for me as a human being. And you too have to have respect and dignity for yourself. And that's so key because at the basis of any good relationship, no matter what that relationship is respect and dignity. And it's kind of like a seed that you have to plant, because when you have that respect and dignity with each other, it just, oh my gosh, it sends, it rockets your um relationship into the fourth dimension, and that love, kindness, and compassion just, are right there, because two people or a group or anybody, that's, I always want to come to you with respect and dignity, too, because I think that's really important. I've got my beliefs, and I'm very strong in my beliefs, and but I also know there's a lot of other belief systems out there too, and that we need to get along on this planet, instead of at war with each other. And, with this COVID, there's a lot of folks out there angry and don't have any respect and dignity for folks. And that's kind of sad as far as I'm concerned. And I don't, really like, seeing that. And then there's acceptance in a relationship. Acceptance of where a person's at. That includes me. I have to acceptance of where I'm at sometimes. Sometimes I'm not in such a great mindset. Sometimes I feel like I'm stalled. You know, that's me. But sometimes I have a day that everything is being rocketed into the fourth dimension. And believe me, that's a long term from the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. And that's huge, because when I am in that state and in that mode, I can do all sorts of great stuff, get a lot of stuff done a day, and my mind is just so clear headed. And the same thing goes for your relationships. Some relationships and some days are going to feel like your head's full of fog, you can't think, you have no idea where each other's coming from. And sometimes, when things like that happen, groups or people or anything else like that argue with each other, because there's a lack of acceptance from where everybody is coming from. And, with what's going on in the world, things are changing. People looking at other folks, I've heard from other groups or other people, there's some places they're shutting things down again because of the COVID virus going on the upswing. But the only thing I do have to say about that is that, when we do open up things and more people mingle, it's going to, create things that are going to increase. It's kind of like when children go to school and, they pass diseases on to the parents, all sorts of. Sometimes they think it's a disease factory, but the point is, and all that, and me getting back to all this point, is acceptance. Acceptance is huge. Acceptance of who you are as a human being. Acceptance of a man and woman. Acceptance of people in a group. Acceptance of people in a nation, of that, that we can all get along. To me, getting along is so important, and having good friends and good people and good positive people, of all these different things I've been talking about, will breed that. And with that, I'm going to bring Anne on, and I'm bringing it over here, and there's Anne. I'm gonna, gotta bring it down here. Here we go. Anne, come here, Anne. Just a second. We got Anne down here. Anne's being featured. Whoops, just a second. Anne's being, just a second. So, here we go. Okay, sorry. I want to make sure Anne is here, and there we're getting there. Ah, my computer's not cooperating. Anne, do you want to see the people? All right, we're going to get to the people, and we're going to see Anne here. I know it's been a little confusing and everything else, and we're going to get Anne in here, and she's going to be... There she is. There's my Anne. Anne, look for the people. Anne, look, say hello. Come on, Anne. Say hello. Come on. Hello. Hello. Oh, she's always looking at me like, really? You want me to perform? Aw, she's just being lazy. Ah. Well, I just thought I'd bring that in. She just really adds a lot to my life. And I know that was a little weird and a little crazy, but you know what? Sometimes you gotta be a little crazy, even in relationships, because adding a little craziness to relationship actually spices it up and gives you lots of passion. And laying there, and sometimes we have mommy time, and she just gives me like that unconditional love. And we all need unconditional love in our lives too. To have good, flexible relationships is when we have that unconditional love. We'll feel free to be able to do the things we want to in life, and it gives us great purpose, because we all want unconditional love from God, unconditional love from Jesus Christ, unconditional love from your family and your friends or anybody you interact with. And when you have that unconditional love, all these different things that I've talked about tonight will just, breed something so wonderful that I can't even begin to imagine. Because, relationships, they have many levels to them. But looking at all these different things that I've talked about, I would hope that, they are a big help for you, because I know they are for me. And realizing that, what? It doesn't matter, what I think. What matters is what you think out there. And what I'm hoping that, what I presented to you was great, and gave you some insights, and, really helped you. And, we are in the process of getting some things done and ready for you as far as that's concerned. And, it's just going to enhance your life. And the only thing I do have to say for that is that's what we're here for, is to enhance your life, so you do have a life. And you can declutter the clutter in your life, because you know what? Life is cluttery if you think about it. Cluttery and relationships, relationships are huge, because without relationships, I know we have social distancing, but we still have to have relationships with folks, because we are social beings, and relationships are so important to our mental health and our physical health, our spiritual health, and everything else, because all the folks we interact with in life have a direct impact on who we are and what we are and where we stand in life. So you run around with bad people, it's going to breed a lot of bad stuff for you. And believe me, having been down that road myself, it wasn't so pleasant. And I lost a lot of years of my life to that, about 18, 19 years. But you know what? I'm coming back, and I want great relationships with you, with other folks, other groups, or anything else out there too, because when you build those bridges with folks, instead of burning the bridges, as they call it, when you build bridges with folks, you breed a life that you can't even imagine. It's a life that worth living beyond, how can I say it? Rocketed into the fourth dimension. Because when you can rocket your relationships into the fourth dimension on anything, on any level, you know what? You have a great life. And with that, I wish you a great Declutter's Delight for life. Have hope, have peace, and have great relationships. And I'll see you back here tomorrow night.